Oh Lord, incredible. So, many people preach no limit with limitations in their heart without their consent. And so today, I'm going to share with you how to handle limitations. Consciously, unconsciously, or subconsciously. Many people who preach that actually have that. All right. And so we want to bring that consciousness on how you can be able to translate it into becoming anything, particularly what you are called to be, and not play another person's script rather than playing yours. All right. So if it is your first time on my channel, my name is Mrs. 𝗟𝗲𝗦𝗃𝗧𝗏, and I welcome you into another episode of Life Unscripted. In Life Unscripted, I share with you how you can become a student for life beyond academic session or school system in order that you achieve optimum and sustainable success. And in that light, we are building confident global champions. And these leaders are living the life that they are proud of and not the one people recommend. You know why? Because they also believe that life is unscripted. It only takes your discipline to actually pick up a pen and a paper to write or rewrite your script, because there are defining moments and there are redefining moments. So they are writing their story and you have no idea. Like I promised you, CGC Experience Live Show will be coming hot live because they will be here to share their experiences so far as the testament of what we share in the inner space. So and hit go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell to get a notification when the next content drops. And if you are following me on Facebook, hit that follow button. If you're following me on Instagram, of course, you know what to do. Hit that follow button, because that is one of the best decisions you're going to make in your life this year and beyond. And of course, I'm going to share with you why in this series. Now, like I told you, many people actually experience this limitation without their consent. And so that's what we want to actually address in this context. All right. So knowing that quite well, you need to come from a point of understanding what limitation is. But you actually getting to know that is where you begin to understand that there is no such thing as limitation, because nature shows you the level of unlimitedness in the land. What does that even mean? Now, there is what we call sun. Sun has the abundance, right? You have the abundance of sun. The only thing that cut it short or leave it at that restricted level, which we call limitation, is when you build a house or you create a shade. So you now create a limit to how sun is going to hit you or anything like that. So when you understand it, you understand that limitation are restrictions by size, quantity, quality, or as the case may be. And so what fosters this limitation is what we create. So definitely there is no limitation by nature, because nature is anti-limited and unlimited as the case may be. So you understanding that will now make you realize that we as human beings are the ones who have created limitations where there is not. And so what are those restrictions you have given? Probably based on where you are coming from or some stuff like that. That will be a hindrance. Now, first of all, you need to understand the true cause of limitation. Some of us, from where we are coming from, number one thing is your belief. And your belief is what you have accepted as true. Whether it's right or wrong, you accept it as true. Some of us came from a family that you must pray to God before you can get an idea. Then they don't engage the practices of personal development, because their belief and the culture of where they are coming from are limiting them to one strategy when there is more. So you will now see that because you believe that as true, it begins to affect you. So whatever thing that maybe your parents did not say, you see them as wrong, even when it is right, because you believe them and accept it as your reality. And so that's the way you have been able to create limitations. I married a Benue man, even as an Igbo lady. And there is this thing about our culture that has to deal with the first daughter in Igbo land doesn't marry outside the tribe. But I didn't do that out of stubbornness. I did that understanding that I am obeying the law of universe, and it is my vocation that determines my location, not my location determining my vocation, because I've come into the consciousness that there is no limit here, and truly I am living it. So does that tell you? It doesn't mean that you're very stubborn. It means that you actually come from a place of identity, understanding that you are here to live a life of abundance. That was why God created creatures before he created creators. And that is why every provision have been made for your vision. That's why he made everything available even before he created man, so that man will gain dominion of that which he has provided. But the question is, are you aware that those things are available to you? It is a personal question you need to start asking. If you're not aware, you need to change your belief systems. You need to change your belief to understand that you are truly unlimited, because nature itself is unlimited. You need to be able to understand the power of you believing that whatever, whether it is right or wrong, does not stop the level at which you accept things as true. If I believe that I can do anything I set my mind to do, of course I'm going to get those things done because of my belief. And if there are any other culture, I will create it as a lifestyle. I will create it as a culture. I will create it based on practice for that to become my lifestyle, because of what? My belief system. And I begin to live my dreams. Why? Because I believe enough to give it my best shot. That's why when you say, I believe I can fly, I agree with you. Whether it's true or not, whether you even know how to do, whether you're a pilot or not, you believe in. And that's why when you meet a very young child and you ask them, what do you want to be in future? They will tell you, because they have accepted that to be true about themselves. It's not really that they are actually it at the moment. So it's the power of belief that fosters you to take action on that dream. So I'm trying to ask you, what are your belief system? What are your cultures and traditions from where you are coming from that are the stumbling blocks to you living your dreams? You are the one that created it. You need to start changing your belief system towards what you are called to do rather than where you are coming from. Because when you die, you are going to look like the choices you have made and not the problems that the people before you couldn't handle created. And you have come into the consciousness of that while coming into life unscripted. And I will not leave you without sharing with you the second one, which is the most powerful. The second one, which is the most powerful and you need to be able to deal with in order to handle limitation, is understanding that you have the ability to learn anything. You can learn poverty, you can learn wealth, you can learn anything. Even as a young child, like I give you as an instance, they had to go through school to be able to become a medical doctor if they want to become a medical doctor. So they have to go through school. And through school, you go through that with time and process. Like I told you, time and process is where transformation begins to happen. All right. So they will have to go through those instructions by people who have gone ahead of them, who are teaching them. They will have to go through practice. And by that period of 6 years to 8 years, as the case may be, including housemanship, they are called medical doctors. Same thing. Even if you decide today, you don't want to be a medical doctor and you want to be an engineer, you will still go back to use that power, your superpower, which is your ability to learn, to engage education for what it is really, to actually, for a virtue of time and process, you are able to become that. So there is no limit here. There is no limit here. Anything you are crying about is someone else's success. So you just have to open up your mind to use the power of your ability to learn your way into anything that you ever desire and believe that you can actually do for yourself. So that's why, and when you come, most times in our lives, most people studied courses that they never believed they could, but they eventually know a lot about those things. Some people, even why they graduated, they are no longer practicing that which they are doing, and they are masters of another course that they never did in school. So it's for you to understand that if you stay in a thing long enough, you will see you're going to over time become masters in that thing. Why? Because by virtue of education, not just beyond academic session or a structure in a school, right? Beyond that, you are able to stay in the process, learn the things about the process, practice, and have a certain level of experience and result that qualify you to become a master in that thing. Which means if you are able to actually learn, you can learn your way out of anything and learn your way into anything that you want. So that's why anytime that you say there is no limit, now you can know what you are saying, because there is actually no limit. The only limit you have here is the one that you created yourself, and how to handle it is to be able to change your belief system and hack and use the power, your superpower of your ability to learn your way out of anything and learn your way into anything. And that can only happen if you understand that education is a personal responsibility. And that's why education is there to actually shape your identity. And you have to be able to identify yourself so that you can go through education to shape that which you have identified. And that's why it comes from a point of belief system. See, a lot of us have opportunity for people to help us, but because we don't even believe that we can do those things, we scare those people who are willing to help us away. And today it is time to stop creating limitations for yourself in the name of there is limitation, or there is problem in the country, or see, the existence of any problem that you can identify is the validity of you coming into this world as the solution to that problem. The fact that you can even identify as a problem means you have a responsibility to solve it. What can you learn? What can you learn to actually get that problem solved? This is the time for you to start paying attention to that, because actually it is time to begin to write your own script. It is time to stop playing another person's script because of what you think people will think when you start that. And don't forget that poor people want to be liked, rich people want to be respected, and respect is commanded by value. Value is created when your virtue is converted into helping other people find solutions based on those your value. And in that light, you create value, and that value commands a lot of respect that will give you income and wealth at the long run. So what is that thing? What is that limitation you have created for yourself? Start asking that question and begin to make amends today. And until you take action, whatever I share here is not going to make a lot of sense to you. It's not going to make sense if you don't take action or if you don't implement, because your teachability index is calculated by your ability to learn and your willingness to act. These are the two things that determine if you are teachable. And so that is why we are building confident global champions, because we believe that truly there is no limitation here by virtue of nature. And we need to be able to enjoy and incorporate this into our life to be anything that we want to be. And of course, most importantly, to become that which we are called to be. So if you are ready, if you believe that this community is a particular place that will help you begin to unravel a lot about yourself, come into that consciousness that you are limitless, that there is nothing stopping you from doing anything. Even those things you are saying your parents will not like it, your pastor will not like it, you are the one who created it. For you to come out of that particular realm is going to take time and process through practice. And you need to be in a community that will actually help you unravel a lot of that. And like I told you, as an Igbo woman, it looks like an abomination for an Ada, the first daughter of an Igbo lady, to actually marry outside the tribe. But I did it, not because I was stubborn, but because I came into the consciousness to enjoy the universe that has a lot of abundance. That is why it formed my mentality that it is my vocation that determines my location, not my location determining my vocation. People do things now based on circumstance, but I do things because of who I know I am. You need to come into that realm, and that is why you need to become a confident global champion. For you to actually gain access, you need to type CGC in the comment section, or you hit the link in the description of my channel right now, or you actually hit that link on my bio. Let's get that conversation and get you start going into that realm and tapping into that realm of no limit, truly. And of course, I can't wait to be able to share your testimony to the world. I still remain your friend and your go-to-get edupreneur, founder of the Confident Global Champions Network, Mrs. 𝗟𝗏𝗦𝗏𝗧𝗏. And until I come your way again in the next episode of Life Unscripted, don't forget that life is unscripted. It only takes your discipline and the audacity to pick up a pen and a paper to write and rewrite your script. You don't need to play another person's script. You need to begin to write your story. And of course, the world is waiting to hear from you. And I know you will not keep them too long or wait for them to die before you wake up to it. Till then, I'm going to see you in the next episode. Bye for now.